What is going on, guys? Zers here, and today's video is going to be slightly different. It is going to be me telling a story about something that happened to me fairly recently in the course of my life. And I'm going to be talking about a trend in my love life. Really, something that for some reason just keeps happening to me quite a bit. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to be telling the story, and more than that, just kind of my thoughts on what happened. Hopefully somebody can gain something out of this video, and hopefully it will be somewhat entertaining, because there's a point to the story that I'm going to tell, which I really think some people, some women, some men will really be able to get something out of this story I'm going to tell. I don't really know what you can get, but again, my thoughts will explore the things that happen. So hopefully I'll probably only take about like 10 minutes to tell the story, and then I'll take 4 or 5 minutes telling about my thoughts. So thank you for stopping by, and let's tell this story. Something that happens to me quite a bit, or has always happened to me pretty much ever since I got into high school, really, was that I'd always like a girl. I'd like a girl quite a bit, but for some odd reason she would always like my best friend, or like a very close friend of mine. And it's quite annoying. It is quite annoying the amount of times that that has happened to me. Now, of course, I could tell several stories of when this happened to me all throughout high school, but I'm only going to focus on the one that happened to me in college, because I think excuse me, because 1, it'll be easier to tell this story, 2, it happened more recently, and 3, I mean, I can talk about all the other times, I liked a girl and she was in love with, or really liked my friend. I mean, I got stories for days about that. So I'm only going to focus on one in particular. So let's talk about this one girl. I'm gonna try my best to not, put anyone's, business out there, but let's, strict to the point of fact kind of things that happen, so no one can get their feelings hurt. So a couple months ago, I met this one girl. Okay, so I'll tell you the characters in the story. There's me, there's a close friend of mine, I hang out with more or less every day, this cute little, redhead girl, and my roommate at the time. So we are all the characters. Now, of course, the main characters would be myself and my friend and the girl, but just, okay, whatever, let's get into it. So, there's this girl that I had seen a couple of times, throughout, the course of my time being here, walking around. I always saw her with this one guy, this one black kid, and I thought they were dating for a long time, So my friend, I'm gonna name him Robbie. So my friend Robbie was like, they're actually not dating each other. So then I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So then Robbie met that one girl, and then I met her, and she started hanging out with me, Robbie, and my roommate, And so I really started talking to her, and she's kind of, a little tomboyish, but dressed feminine, so her interests, and even the way she talked was, kind of was like really cool, kind of cool girl, really easy to talk to, but she looked nice. She was a cute girl, so, I kind of liked her a little bit. I wasn't really, like, super invested into her, not like I was with, like, my ex-girlfriend or anything like that, but, yeah, I started to get a couple of positive feelings towards her. Now, I'm not a stupid guy, okay, and over the course of the time that I knew her, I saw that she was a lot more attracted to Robbie than she was to me, because Robbie's a pretty good looking guy. He's got nice I don't want to sound like a gay person, but I mean, I'll just point of fact is he's got 6-pack, big chest, nice shaped jawline. So just nice description of Robbie. He's a pretty good looking guy. Right, so she was more attracted to Robbie, and I realized that. So over time, I just kind of resolved myself to just being friends with her, and just kind of left her alone. I wasn't really gonna put in any effort into trying to date her, because, well, fuck that shit. She was more attracted to Robbie, and as time progressed, I began to realize that she would sleep over with Robbie, and she would like sleep with him in the bed. And when I say sleep, I mean literally. I don't mean that as like a euphemism for sex. I mean she would literally sleep with Robbie in the same bed. So I guess, again, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to try to compete with that. So again, I just kind of resolved myself to being her friend, and just kind of, talking to her and being there for her, if she needed some help. Now this was long before I became an anti-feminist, and I was admittedly something of a white knight, but that's another story for another time. So yeah, again, so I just kind of left it where it was. So over the summer though, over the summer, towards the end, I asked him if he had sex with her, and at first he lied to me. He didn't tell me anything, so I was like, oh, whatever. And so I kind of talked to her a little bit over the summer, you know, just because, you know, I was a little lonely, and also I did still kind of like her, and I figured, I guess, you know, even if they didn't have sex, everything will be all right, and I'll just, you know, keep it the way it is, and everything will be fine. But then Robbie actually told me, he Snapchatted me, and he actually told me that they did have sex with each other. And at that moment forward, like, I lost all attraction to her. Like, it just went away. And the reason why is because I don't like talking to girls or even trying to date girls that have had sex with my friends. I do not like it at all. Partly because, mostly because I don't like the competition, and I don't want to try to measure myself up to people around me. So and that's also just an insecurity that I have, really, when it comes to women that have had multiple sexual partners. Side note is, honestly, I don't like trying to date women that have had lots of sex, because I know damn well I'm not going to measure up to anyone they've had sex with, so I'm not even going to put us in that fucking situation. So that's why I'd rather try to date someone who's a virgin, or at least has only had sex with like one person, because personally I don't feel like I'm up to par there. So I'm just being honest. But I didn't like it's not even that I didn't like the fact, it's just I don't like trying to date people or having sex with people that have done anything with my friends. So I just was like, fuck it, and I stopped talking to her. And also I stopped talking to her because I would text her, and she would literally like read my text messages, and she wouldn't reply. So I was like, well then fuck this bullshit. If you're not gonna fucking reply to me, I'm just not gonna talk to you. And so I stopped talking to her, and I didn't give all too much of a fuck. So I mean, that was over the summer. Then we came back, and my friend Robbie tells me pretty much what happened between them, and pretty much what happened was they would hang out, and Robbie said this straight up, and this is a very important part of the story. And Robbie's like, so look, you know, if you want a relationship with me, you know, I'm not the guy to be with. I'm not the person who's you wanna try to date. And she was like, oh yeah, that's fine. I don't wanna be in a relationship either. I just wanna have fun. So Robbie was like, okay, well, you know, and so then basically Robbie had a one-night stand with her, you know. And so again, I'm not stupid, and I can pretty much pick up signs from women. Now again, I'm not the best reader of signs from women, admittedly, but I can pick up on it a little bit, and I can pretty much tell for the most part when a girl likes somebody or really likes them. And I kind of figured that the girl wanted a relationship with Robbie because, one, she was sleeping with this nigga all the fucking time, two, she would always look for him, three, I'm clearly sure she was attracted to him, and four, I mean, she had sex with him after knowing him for 2 weeks. So that whole thing transpired between the two of them for 2 weeks, and they had a one-night stand, and Robbie's like, fuck it, I don't care. So Robbie told her straight up that he didn't care and he didn't want to have a relationship, and she agreed to that. A couple of months later, she got a new boyfriend, and without dipping too far into that aspect of it all, because that is a whole nother fucking story in its entirety, she still had feelings for Robbie. She liked Robbie quite a bit. You know, I'm not going to say she was in love with Robbie, and I will discuss why I don't feel like she was in love with Robbie in another video about women in love in its entirety. So, but she did like him a lot. She did still care, and she still wanted to probably be in a relationship with Robbie, you know, she liked him quite a bit, so much so that it probably ruined her current relationship with her boyfriend that she never wanted to date in the first place. I mean, her boyfriend was pretty much a white knight beta male bastard. I mean, just to be point of fact, it kind of sucked for him that he was wasting his time with this girl who was probably only dating him out of pity. You know, so I sat there, I was a bystander, you know, I'm not really the main character of this tale, and I just kind of sat there and I saw pretty much the effect that Robbie had on her. And so Robbie wasn't doing anything. No, she did this to herself, you know. But she really liked Robbie, and she messed up her relationship with her boyfriend. They broke up. Don't have all the details there, but I know that she would text Robbie and talk to Robbie about some problems that she had, and she ultimately ended up telling Robbie about what happened. So Robbie, I think both of them were drunk, or either she was drunk and Robbie was buzzed or something like that. And he confronts her. Basically, he's like, so I mean, I heard you and your friends keep talking about me, and because the girl, part of the story I didn't tell, was she would act weird around Robbie, or in her group of friends. When anyone brought up Robbie's name, she would be upset, or she'd make a face, she'd be a little passive aggressive about it. And one of my friends told Robbie about this, and so Robbie was a little, I wouldn't say upset, but Robbie, I'm going to say upset because I don't have a better word for this. So Robbie, I guess, maybe confused as to why she felt the way she felt, even though she and Robbie both agreed it was a one-night stand and that nothing was supposed to come of what happened. So Robbie confronted her, and Robbie's like, so what happened? And so she tells him, and she's like, so Robbie confronted her, and is like, so do you still have feelings? You got attached? And she was like, yeah. So Robbie's like, but I thought we agreed that there was no strings. And she's like, yeah, we did, but, and Robbie's like, so you still got attached? And she's like, yeah, I still did. So it's like, oh, well, too bad. So Robbie's like, honestly, I don't care. And that's really the whole thing about it all, is that she wanted to be with Robbie, and Robbie didn't care. And he told me several times. Now this has happened to me quite a bit. So this is more much where the story ends. There's not much to tell here. I guess I couldn't be more explicit, but that would be going into people's business that I shouldn't be putting out there. So I guess, again, so I was a bystander to all of this and just kind of watched how everything happened. And one thing that really stopped, and I really thought, and I really had, like, no fucking sympathy for this girl, honestly, because, and I talked to her a couple of times, I texted her a little bit, and she was upset about the fact that Robbie did not care. She was like, Robbie doesn't care about me, and that really hurt her feelings that, she had sex with this guy who didn't give a fuck about her. So I remember one day, me and Robbie were sitting in the cafe, and she walks up to me, and she says, hey, Zers, you don't talk to me anymore. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm talking to you right now. I was like, what are you talking about? We're having a conversation right now. She's like, no, you don't talk to me anymore. So I was like, you mean I don't text you anymore? She was like, yeah. So then I was like, well, you don't text me, you don't talk to me. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure she pretty much picked on the fact that Robbie told me she had sex, that they had sex, and that I didn't want to talk to her anymore because of that reason. And if she did pick up on that, well, then she's like 50% right. I didn't want to date her anymore after that point, because I was like, fuck it, I already went over that part of the story, so I won't go over it again. But I felt that one thing I felt when she came over to the table, she talked to me specifically, but she didn't say anything to Robbie. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like she was using me to get to my friend. And I don't like being used by women to do I don't like being used at all. And I'm not really sure very many people do. Some people do, and they're masochists, but I don't. I do not like when people try to fucking manipulate me into doing something for them. So if she came over to me and started talking to me just so she could annoy Robbie, well, then that kind of pissed me off. I don't want to have anything to fucking do with her. But I can't be 100% sure. I'm just speculating. If that was the case, well, then I'm fucking glad what happened to her, because I don't like being abused in that manner. Alright, so going back, so there's one conversation I had with her, and this has really kind of solidified how I felt. And then I'll get to what else I'm talking about. So I told the girl, I said, hey, you gotta, so she was really sad because of some Young and the Restless type shit that was going on with her, and also what was happening with Robbie. And so I was texting her about it, just trying to, get her to realize she has the solution to her own fucking problems, and that, she can figure it out. I'm talking to her, and I was like, look, you gotta deal with your problems. You can't run away from your issues. I know that personally. And I was like, I say you talk to Robbie about whatever's going on. So she said, how will talking to Robbie help me? He doesn't care. He just wanted to hook up with me like half this campus does. So I was like, well, damn, that's quite the fucking ego. Well, that's what I thought. I didn't say that. But then I was like, yeah. I said, look, I don't think that's the case. I think he's alright. I was like, and then I asked her, just to mess with her. I was like, do you think I'm part of that half? So then she's like, Zers, that's all he ever wanted from me. He told my friend that the day he met me. No, Zers, I don't. So then, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So then I was one thought I had is like, I kind of figured, if you knew that this son of a bitch only wanted to like have sex with you, why in the absolute fuck would you then have sex with him? Like, I was like, okay, then it blew my fucking mind that she was this aware, that she knew she was gonna get fucking used, or she knew that this guy only wanted to have sex with her. And you know what she decided to do? Have sex with him any fucking way for whatever goddamn reason. Maybe because she was overcome with lust. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But it boggled my mind that she fucking knew that he just wanted to use her for sex, and she went along with it anyway. And then when she started to have some feelings for him, and then when she started to care and actually wanted a relationship with him, well, then she fucked up because she tried to date somebody that didn't fucking care. You know, and that's why I call this story, you know, she did it to herself. And here's the thing, here's the ultimate problem. The thing that with this girl is that she had options. You know, like, she could have picked me. You know, she could have been with me. You know, I was an option for her. You know, I was thinking about trying to date her. And so then after that, I was like, well then, you know, fuck it. You know, she had a boyfriend that she was with for a while. She kind of fucked it up because whatever happened between them, you know, she has options, you know, and then she's talking about half this campus wanted to fuck her. You know, she had options, you know, and that's one thing that I guess some people kind of get out of this video, is that, you know, when these girls date these guys who only want to have sex with them, you know, they can't really be upset, especially if the parameters of the relationship has been set. You know, if someone says straight up, hey, look, I only want to have sex with you, and you say, yeah, let's do this, and then they cut you off, well then you fucked up. You fucked. You done goofed. You done goofed because the parameters were set. And this is also one thing that I kind of want, hopefully one thing I hope someone gets out of this video. You know, I go in to tell this story that one thing at the end of the day, I have zero fucking sympathy for this girl, because she did this to herself, you know, and I don't mean to say that because I'm bitter. I'm not really bitter about the fact that, you know, she picked, that she wanted to date this guy over me. Life goes on, you know. The thing that bothers me, well, there's a lot of things that bother me. One thing that bothers me is that, one, she bold-faced lied, and that, she really wanted, I guess what she was probably thinking was that if I have sex with this guy, you know, he's going to change his mind, or that I'm going to get him to care about me, or maybe he's different. And actually, she did say that. She said verbatim, she said, I asked her straight up, I was like, hey, look, if he told you that this was a one-night stand, why the fuck did you think you can get anything out of this? And she said verbatim, I thought he was different. And I was like, I don't know what the hell made you think this nigga was different, but whatever. And I hear that a lot. I hear women say, you know, I thought he was different. I didn't think he was like other guys. And I'm like, the nigga did the same shit all these other motherfuckers did, and you think he was, I mean, either you're lying, or two, you don't know what the fucking word different means, because someone doing the same thing other people have done, by definition, is not different, but whatever, you know. And so, that's one thing that got me, is that one, she knew the parameters of the relationship, and then she thought that she could change this guy by having sex with him. And here's one thing I want ladies to stand: you are not going to get a guy to change his mind about having a relationship with you by having sex with him. If once you give that up, he's just gonna move on and go. I mean, especially if he fucking told you he was gonna do that. Take this nigga at his fucking word. Alright, women need to stop trying to convince men to have a relationship with them by having sex with them, or by having children with them. Women need to fucking stop. If a man doesn't want to date you, then move the fuck on, because you have options, right? You know, like keep it moving, you know, or at least try. Maybe you can spend some time trying to prove that you might be a good girlfriend. But too many times women think that if they have sex with men, that they're gonna convince them otherwise to be with them, and it's just not how men work. I'm sorry, ladies, it's just not, that's just not the way it's gonna go down. And it's a waste of fucking time to even try to get a man to care about you in that fashion by having sex with them. It's just not going to fucking work out. You know, and so I hope someone gets that out of this story. You know, in the end, the girl she ended up all by herself. She ended up, I don't want to date her. My friend never wanted to date her. She lost her boyfriend. I mean, she fucked up, and I don't feel bad for her. Hopefully she learns. I mean, hopefully the next time someone with some kind-hearted guy I doubt it. I doubt this will happen. I'm pretty sure she'll keep doing stupid shit until she's well into her fucking 30s. But I mean, I can't be 100% certain. You know, and I guess I wish her the best, but I mean, she did it to herself. You know, she fucked up all of her relationships by herself, and she had options. And that's one thing that just kind of got me, is that, you know, she picked this guy who didn't care about her, who told her that he only wanted to have sex with her, And then she gets upset with this motherfucker because he fucking told her what he wanted, and that he told her that he only wanted to have sex with her, and she did it with him anyway. I mean, I don't know. I have zero sympathy for her. She did that shit to herself. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. You know, and hopefully I will probably try to do more videos like this where I talk about stories from my life. Maybe some wisdom can be obtained through my tales. At least I hope so. So with that being said, man, guys, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, have a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.